Hello again everybody, this is Great Saphinus for Video Tutorials, and today I'm going to show y'all how to open up your ports. God help us all. So, you just made your new 3D app, and you might have set it all up, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to share this with the world. But no one else can get into my app. Why can no one else get into my app? Because the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, and you, my friend, are that side of the fence. If you click My Apps under your developer toolbar, you will see your new app, Great Saphinus Tutorial, Inaccessible Connectivity Issues. Why? I'm going to tell you why. So even though you may see this, and you can say, but I can go to my app, why can no one else go to my app? It's because your patch server is running on a port that your computer blocks, as well as your app server is running on a port that something on your computer is blocking. So here's how we figure out how to troubleshoot this. Step one would be to make sure you're patching. We'll just eliminate what is being blocked one by one. So let's say you got your app going, everything was happy, you're like, I'm going to bed. You go to bed. You wake up, and just demonstrate. Close. You wake up, you click My 3D Apps, you're like, okay, let's go to my app. You double click, and it sits right here. It says downloading ungodly amount by ungodly amount, and it just sits here forever, and it'll eventually time out. This means that your patch server is either down or behind a firewall. Since we are inside the firewall, we can assume that the patch server is down. And so it is. If you look down in your toolbar, you will see no HFS. So if that's happening to you, first make sure HFS is on. So you can go into your start menu, type in HFS, should be your first thing, click that bad boy, and it'll pop up real quick and then hide. Boop. There it is. If you look in your toolbar, you'll see HFS now. Now you know HFS is running. Let's reset this guy. And now I can get there again. Ta-da! But that doesn't help anyone on the outside. But if you're talking to someone and they're saying, I'm not patching, that's what that was. And that download bar just doesn't download. You're not patching. So, let's figure out how to set up HFS so that it can get out to other users. So here's what we're going to do. First things first, open up HFS. Just double click that little icon down here. And I'll note real quick that if this is open and you click X, it doesn't just put it back in the toolbar, it'll actually close HFS. So whenever you're done with this bad boy, make sure you minimize it and it stays active in your toolbar. So open up HFS and you'll see up in the top left port :80. This means that your patch server is running on port 80. It does this by default. But I don't like port 80, so we're going to change it to something else. Let's decide what we want to change it to. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to have HFS and my 3D app server run on the same port. Oh, I'm sorry, run in a port 1 difference. So if this is port 5, this will be port 6. It's actually not going to be port 6, it's going to be ungodly. So go to your web browser, go to Kaniva.com, log in, go to My 3D Apps, go find your app again, Great Saphinus Tutorial, click Manage 3D App, click Servers, and here you will see your home PC, wherever your server's running off of. For me, it's at home. You'll see the port that your game server's running on. That's what this top number is. And what we want to do is change the HFS port to 1 off of that. So if this is 25868.868, I want HFS to be 25869. Sound good? Hit OK. There it is. So now my patch server is running on port 25869. And the next step is to make sure that your firewall lets this happen. Actually, that's not the next step. Next step is to make sure that Geneva knows that your patch server is running on 25869. So come back into your 3D app servers page, and down here under patch URL, click edit, and you need to change these two numbers here. That would be my IP address. Change that to :25869. It now knows that the patch is going to be at this address and this port. Update, and do that for the second one too. Home PC 25869. Bam. So now Geneva knows to look here, but your computer is still a problem. So here is how you open up the ports on your computer. I'm going to start with my computer's firewall. So if you go to your control panel, go to security, and this is Windows Vista, so your control panel might look a little different. Either way, you want to get to security, firewall, allow a program through Windows Firewall. Open that guy up. And now in here, we're going to add a program under exceptions. So these are, where's the add port? It's add port, I'm sorry. Add port as an exception, so your firewall will know to let these ports go through. So let's do 3D app, and I'll call this and so the port number for my 3D app was 25868. So now I have an exception here in my Windows firewall to let this server run. But I also need one for the patch server. So add port again, and we'll call this 3D app HFS. And that port was 25869. Bam. There you go. Windows Firewall now lets both of these ports through. Happy day. Okay. So there you go. Now HFS and your 3D app server are set up to run through your Windows Firewall. But you might be saying, well, it's still red for me. It still says app inaccessible. It might not. For me, it does. For some people, that might be all that it takes. And that is because there are 1,000 different things that could be blocking ports on your computer. It might not just be your firewall in play. It could be your antivirus. It could be the physical router on your desk, which for me it is. So I will show you how to get around this problem for an AT&T Uverse router. But this might not be the ultimate solution for you. If you have Norton Antivirus, you might just need to shut that guy down, or open him up and tell him to make exceptions for this program or this port. There's 1,000 different things in place. Sometimes your computer might be set up on stealth mode or something weird like that. At this point, I sort of throw my hands in the air and say, good luck, because there's 1,000 different things that could be blocking you at this point. So I will show y'all now how to get past your AT&T Uverse firewall if you have one. So for me, I go to my AT&T Uverse firewall, or my router, sorry, and there are application/pinholes that I can let through the firewall. So for me to do this, I come down into the exceptions that my router allows. I'll do add a new device. I'll call this guy 3D app grade staff in this tutorial. And what's cool about this is that I can let a port range through, so I can kill two birds with one stone. So I can do 25868 and 25869. So now both my HFS port and my 3D app port are allowed through. This is a... Sure, DirectX game. Not sure if that actually matters. Add to list. Come back into here. And all I have to do now is say, hey, let that run. It's now a hosted application. Save these changes. And now this should be, you know what, I probably have to restart my server. Let's try that. So if, it's a good chance to bring this up, if your server looks like this and is running like this, you can kill your server by simply closing this box. And now your server is down. Let's say you don't want your server running in its own command window, but you would like it to just run in the background. No problem. Go to Start, All Programs, Kineva, open your 3D app there, and you will see three things down here at the bottom. You'll see Run 3D App Server, Start 3D App Server, Service, and Stop 3D App Service. Run will open it in its own window. If you would like it to run in the background, just click Start. It'll open real quick, and then go away. Went away. And what that does is it's now running in the background. And if you need to shut it down from henceforth, go to your Services menu, and you'll see up here, this is my 3D app. It is listed as started. It's also listed as startup type automatic. What this means is if you restart your computer, the app is going to start when your computer starts back up. Let's say you don't like that. No problem. Right click, Properties, and then down here under Startup Type, change that to Manual. Okay. Manual. So now this app will not start unless I either open up Services, find this app again and hit go, or if I go down to my Start menu, Kineva, 3D app, Start 3D app service. Preference, decide what you want. But now that it's restarted, and I've got through both my Windows firewall and my router's firewall, this app is now black in my My Apps window. This means that it is accessible by outsiders and by myself. So at this moment, anyone can come visit Great Saphinous tutorial. Okay, that is how you get around your ports. Don't forget that myself, Great Saphinous, Vanilla Smoothie, and Alligator hold office hours twice a day, every weekday, from 10 to 11 and from 3 to 4 in Creator Central. If you have any questions about this process, I can help y'all get around it to the best of my ability, but just keep in mind that this does change for every single computer, depending on your antivirus, depending on your ISP. Some ISPs simply block certain ports, and at that point, you might need to call up your ISP and say, hey, are you blocking this port? Or do y'all have ports that you advise for hosting a game server and hosting a patch server? And they might be able to help you out. I had to call up AT&T at one point because I got lost, and they said to me, yeah, we don't block anything. I'm like, okay, cool. So, that is how you open your ports. This has been Great Saphinous. Y'all have a good one.